Now, I'd like 2 eggs over hard.
What is up, everybody? Station! Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to PCP Movie Night. Pop, pop, boom, you know, and we are on a mission, everybody. A mission to talk about this movie tonight from director Joe Dante. The 1998 popular, cultish, classic-ish, let's just say it's classic-esque film, Small Soldiers. This was a really fun revisit. We got some fantastic people with us tonight to discuss this movie, including Picardo Miller.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some Dante-isms to throw in there because this movie's chock full of them, and I didn't want to be left out. You know what I mean?
Right. If you didn't know this movie was directed by Joe Dante, the movie will let you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, if this movie was not easily recognizable as a Joe Dante classic. What happened to Jelani? Oh, he froze. He's doing the bit. Jelani's doing the ultimate bit. All right. Let's see if we can do it again.
Did I get kicked out? Are you scared? We're all scared.
Oh, man. Someone's
you have to be crazy
tonight, man.
Can you hear or see me?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
all right.
How do I have the bad internet connection? Great.
Let's try something real quick, Jelani. I say 1, you say 2. 1.
2.
All right, we're just going to have to deal with it. Speaking of dealing with it, we got a newbie here tonight. I think we're popping a YouTube stream in Cherry tonight. So this cat reached out to me. He's like, bruh, Small Soldiers is one of my favorite movies ever. And this dude is such a gnarly horror fan that he literally had recently a wedding that was horror movie themed. But he likes this movie so much. It's Jay Willie Station, everybody.
Hey, thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course,
so
man.
Awesome to be here.
One of your favorite movies,
so cool,
man.
Do what?
One of your favorite movies.
Yeah,
right?
like it was such a childhood favorite, man. I remember like seeing it when I was like 5 and like revisiting it. It was so cool.
When you were 5. All right, just shut up right now then, man. When you were 5. Come on, man. All right.
Yeah, I'm a youngster.
You're making us feel old. You're making me feel old. Speaking of old, it's Brooks. What's up, Brooks? Old man Brooks on the corner.
What's up?
On the back porch, doing his thing. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. This is interesting. Like this movie got like a lot more gears turning for me than I suspected it would. Really,
gears turning or chips firing?
Something along those lines, you know.
Something.
But, yeah, I remember watching it when I was younger, and you know, I thought it was an all right. It was kind of a fun little movie with some weird dark shit in it. But
yeah,
like on the rewatch, I think I understood a little more what they were trying to say in this movie.
Yeah, okay. It is trying to say some stuff. I'm not even kidding, man. All right, let's talk about it. So this movie came out in July of 1998. this was the summer before my senior year in high school. And this was like one of those periods in my life. Me and my homie George, we were going to the movies every single week, you know, and eventually, like, that was the year I got a job there, right? So, like, actually, it was 99. So it wasn't shortly. It was like a year later I got the job there. Jelani had already been there, right? So I was an avid week to week. What's the best movie this week? What's the best option? Let's watch it. It was Small Soldiers, and I loved it. I remember the big Burger King advertising campaign. Everybody's gonna goddamn mention the rodeo burger because everybody's been mentioning the rodeo burger already. I almost thought about doing a weird stretch and putting one together, being like, "You got a rodeo burger?
You can't handle the rodeo burger.
You can't handle the rodeo burger." Yeah, exactly. But I don't think I've really seen this movie since maybe a couple times after the theatrical release on like VHS. So it's been probably like 20 years. And that's been a common thread here. Is we're revisiting these movies that maybe we loved as kids, but haven't really watched that much as an adult. I think this movie holds up. And this time I got to pick up on a little bit more of what's in there, not just for kids, by Joe Dante. Joe Dante is able to make these wild, quasi-family friendly movies that have an edge to them. Like, it's been said, this is Toy Story with an edge. And I wouldn't go that far. It does not compare to Toy Story.
Rob Liefeld's Toy Story.
Right? This is exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
But you got that those Joe Dante-isms. You got this like cartoonish, Looney Tunes-esque, wild, fun, self-referencing, understanding what it's doing. I loved this movie back then. It held up for me on the rewatch. I picked it up on Blu-ray. And so do not disappoint myself by buying this on Blu-ray and then watch it and then it's not good. No, it worked, right? And it's available for free on YouTube with ads or whatnot. It's a very bare bones disc, but this movie was cool. But I think that some of the people here on the panel are definitely bigger fans than I am historically of this film, including my man Manny.
Oh,
Manny,
yeah.
what do you think about this film? What's your history with it?
Oh, dude. All right. So I was not a fetus like my man Jay Willie down there. I was an 8th grader when this came out. And I loved it. I was outside of the target demographic even, I think. Well, I don't know what the target demographic is. Let's be perfectly honest. This movie fluctuates from being a family comedy to a fetish horror film. It goes back and forth.
The demographic is people that eat at Burger King.
Yep. And I think that's part of the problem. I think that I feel like this film got the Batman Returns treatment. I think that like it was going to be a dark movie, and then Burger King was like, "Oh hell no, oh hell no,
We gotta sell these rodeo burgers,
dude." They like I can't. I don't have any evidence of this, but I think that's why we got the BK Mighty Kids meal afterward. You know what I mean? Like because movies were starting. There were so many PG-13 type movies that were coming out. They were like, all right, well, let's have an older kids meal so we can market these PG-13 movies. Yeah. But it was, God, this movie was awesome, and it holds up. It uses CG, but it uses puppets still, which I think is part of what makes it hold up and keeps that magic for me, because like it reminds me of those Jim Henson movies and things, because there was something physical there. There was something magical about it before we went into this like crazy CG era that we're in now. So. Yeah. I love this movie.
I think some of the CG actually what holds up because it's you're not stretching too far to make toys look a little bit more lifelike, right? Like they can look a little bit more plasticky and it kind of still work, but the movie does hold up, right? And they are trying to, it's weird. Joe Dante does these movies. Like he started out with Piranha, with The Howling. Those are not movies for kids. And then Gremlins comes about, and that was not originally a movie made for kids or wanted to be made for kids. But Spielberg came in. And then Joe Dante's kind of done that for the rest of his career, kind of doing these slightly all-age, family-friendly twists on like genre filmmaking with The Burbs or, Gremlins 2 and all that kind of jazz, right? Looney Tunes Back in Action, a personal favorite of mine. Speaking of back in action, Jelani, what do you think about this movie? What's your history with it?
Well, I mean, I'm the oldest of all of you, I guess. And I worked at the theater a little bit longer than you did. So I was here when this movie came out, and it did okay. I mean, it was memorable, and I watched it back then. And I think that was the last time I saw it I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a great film. I mean, I like action figures, as you can tell. So it's one of those, but I got it from watching you, Brooks. I got it from watching you.
Man, I'm gonna you're gonna beat me with that for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Why always bring up the past?
So I'm a past bringing up motherfucker too. But it was such a great film, man. And I on the rewatch, I really enjoyed it this time, and I was surprised because I didn't think much of it, and I had to even ask Robbie what we were doing this week because I'm dumb, and I was like, I forgot what we were.
He really did. I was like, look in the group, look at our messages, look at the banner and the PCP Army. Come on, bro. It's been. You're like, why have I seen so many things about small soldiers this week?
Yeah, I couldn't pick it out, but once I did. And once I watched it, I was like, "Wow, this is really good." Like it's played for laughs, and it's also serious. It has great sort of CGI, like you were saying, like I would call it quasi CGI. And sometimes the scaling was off for certain things. So like certain things, like when the kid is at the dumpster and he finds the Gorgonites and he's got Archer with him, and Archer is really tiny.
It's like
but then really tiny on the dumpster, and then you go back into the store, and then he's much larger. He's like a much larger doll. So like the scaling was off from time to time, but you could tell what they were trying to do, and I get it. And I still have the questions about the dolls, how the freaking doll, the dolls that Kirsten Dunst had turned into freaking had chips too, or whatever they did. I had no clue how they made them alive. So. And I have my doubts about that part.
Science.
Yeah, science.
They had the military out of parts from tools.
Yeah, it was the military chips that Jay Moore found online. That's what.
Right. Yeah, sure, but they replicated them. Yeah. So it was just that part just threw me off. But other than that, man, if stuff was coming at me like that and nobody's calling the cops, there's something wrong. Like they're neighbors. And no one's calling cops. They're just like, it's them. I'm like, there's stuff blowing up outside. They're flying tennis balls everywhere.
People are just yelling. We're trying to sleep over here.
I feel that way about Haddonfield. Nobody's listening to people screaming and shit running down the street.
People, help me. Nah, son. Jamie Lee Curtis staying there. Yeah.
As you know, one time 40 years ago, this guy killed 3 kids.
He did?
We're tormented, split, destroyed the soul of this town. Evil dies tonight. That should have happened in this movie.
Yeah. But yeah, it was decent all in all.
Corporate greed dies tonight. Greed dies tonight.
God.
So you like it, though. It's fun. It holds up, man.
It holds up.
By the way, I just looked it up. Rodeo Burger is still available.
Oh, yeah. They're only like this big, though, dude. It sucks. It sucks.
Just ask for a Whopper with like onion rings and barbecue sauce.
Oh, they charge extra for the barbecue sauce. I get cranky about the older I get cranky about little shit like that. I'm like, you ain't charging me more for bar. I'll bring my own damn barbecue sauce.
Yeah, shit. My barbecue sauce is better than yours. Like,
that's right. I got that Sweet Baby Ray's I stole from the gas station.
Stole from the gas station. Speaking of stealing from gas stations, Jay Willie, you love this movie so much. You wanted to get on this stream. What do you think about this movie? What's your history with it?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I was like 4 when it came out, so I know I didn't see it in theater, but I do remember like vividly like renting it from like Blockbuster and on the VHS and like just popping it in, and just my mind was just blown. I mean, it was action-packed, explosions, gun shooting. I mean, just like chase scenes. It was just chaotic, and I was just like, as a 5-year-old, I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing ever. And I wanted all the figures. And I did go to Burger King and like back then, and I got like a few of the figures. I wish I still had them. But looking at those figures now, man, it's nuts how fucking expensive they are. Like, it's crazy just for one. Like, it's outrageous. But yeah, man, just like rewatching it again as an adult, I still feel the same I did as a kid. Like, it brought back so many like nostalgic memories, and just I had such a blast with it, man. It was so cool to revisit. I watched it twice. I watched it Saturday night, and then I watched it again this morning. And
Nice.
Wow.
it still gives me a good feel, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I really dig it too, man. The marketing for this movie was insane. Of course, we talked about the Burger King thing, but you cannot find a comic book from 1998 that does not have an ad for this fucking movie.
Right.
You know, it's like all over the place. And it's nice that you got one of those movies that you watched as a kid, you got nostalgic feelings for. You can revisit it, and it's actually still a kind of fun movie. Unlike us, where we go back to certain movies and we're just like, oh man, really?
I screwed myself the first time I went back to the Dark Crystal. I was like, oh, my kid's gonna love this. And I sat there and I was like, oh fuck, how can I get myself out of this one? I think I went and took an hour and a half shit so I could play on my phone because I didn't know what else to do.
That's how you wind up scheduling movie reviews on YouTube for things like Cobra and Funhouse. You know what I'm saying? It's just because you just remember, you know, when I was a kid, it was badass. Those movies are badass. I don't care what Brooks
Cobra
says.
sucks, bro.
I don't care what Brooks says. Regardless of that, Brooks, what do you think about Small Soldiers? What was your what you got?
Well, I remember watching this movie. I remember because it was at the YMCA, because that's where my parents would drop me off during summers. Like I'd be at the YMCA, and they had like a room with.
You mean the YMCA baby fucking sitter club? Like, apparently, Jesus Christ.
The Young Men's Christians Association.
Thanks for letting us know.
I mean, I don't know. People may not have heard of it.
You're like the footnote every time they say S.H.I.E.L.D. in a Marvel comic in the 80s or the 90s.
Interesting factoid, the Village People did a song called YMCA.
No.
But yeah, I remember they rented it, you know, and it was shown in the movie room, so I watched it. I remember liking it pretty well as a kid, you know. I mean, I didn't think it was great, but I thought
you're
it was
like 16. Let's be honest. You're like 16 when this movie comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't necessarily kid.
Yeah. I mean,
like you weren't 4 like Jay Willie, who started out as 5, then became 4. So next time he talks about it, he's going to be 3 years old.
Oh,
3 years old when I watched it.
I was 4 when it came out and 5 when I watched it.
I got you. Okay. Go ahead, Brooks. I'm just messing with you.
Are you? But yeah, actually, this movie is what I found so interesting about this movie is it was in a time, you can tell the time period is, because like post 9/11, there's no way they would have made a movie this like kind of critical of the military.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
And it's kind of in that sweet spot, like Desert Storm would, it kind of like, you know, the fervor from that had died down, you know. So like, you know, you could get away with making a movie that's a little more, you know, critical of military stuff.
Most of us Americans in 1998 thought war is over for us.
Yeah.
We'll never have to go through
there's not going to ever again wars. I mean, what are we even going to fight over?
Oil.
Yeah, maybe now that, you know, we're not doing war stuff, maybe we'll see more movies that are a little more, you know, critical of military stuff.
Look, we're not going to get into it because I'm not going to put on the Teen Dog shades. But what do you mean we ain't doing war stuff anymore? Come on, man.
That's all they're doing, man. They can't wait for the next one.
Eyes above, man.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel.
So you liked it on the revisit, Brooks? Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like I said, you know, I thought it was a little more. You know, this movie was more thought provoking than I thought it was going to be initially.
Yeah, a little bit more layered thematically, I think, than you think. Because Joe Dante? Who's Joe Dante? Joe Dante, he tries to make some kind of statement, usually with his movies, even when they're ridiculous. And he likes making ridiculous movies, right? Which this is. But it's brought to life by a cast that I remember Tommy Lee Jones. I remember Frank Langella doing the voice of Archer. But what I did not remember was that Phil Hartman was in this movie, that Jay Moore was in this movie, that David fucking Cross was in this movie. Like
young David Cross.
And that Dennis Leary was in this movie. I'm like, you're just finding all kinds of stand-up comedians, put them into this movie. And it took me back to the 90s where that's what they did. You know, like people would like, especially the SNL crew or like stand-up comedians, they would eventually go get put into movies. I believe, sadly, this is like Phil Hartman's last cinematic appearance, I believe. But I forgot the cast. But this cast, not just the voice actors, and we're including voice actors in this whole conversation.
Yep.
But what's a performance, a character that highlights this film to you? Manny.
All right. I'm going with the hero of the film, Major Chip Hazard. Major Chip Hazard, Tommy Lee Jones.
Hero, dude.
What hero?
Major Chip Hazard leads his men valiantly into battle. He has been programmed to believe the Gorgonites are his enemy. And what reason does he?
Lawrence was the hero of the Karate Kid.
What reason? What reason?
He fucking was, man.
Absolutely. And what reason would he have not to? The escalation comes from the side of the humans, dude. The humans are throwing his soldiers into garbage disposals and shit. Like he's just doing what he's programmed to do, and he's doing the hell out of it. He is sad when people die. When he's like, Nick Nitro's battery has expired, but his soul will go on. Sure, keep going and going and going. Like, and he sheds a tear, and then he's like, "Fuck it, dude. We're nut up. We're going to war." Like he is the damn hero of this movie. So I'm going with Major Chip Hazard.
All right, and the performance by Tommy Lee Jones, brilliant.
He's having way more fun playing this than he did playing Two-Face.
When I watched it this time, the thing that I loved the most, the thing that kept cracking me up over and over, is that every line of dialogue from Chip Hazard is some kind of cliche military.
A lot of like patriotic rhetoric, sort of.
Exactly. Yeah. Just bullshit rhetoric, and he'll mix and match fucking metaphors and shit. Like it's great.
Like the whole Patton scene where he's walking in front of the flag. He's basically just spouting off like a stream of like empty patriotic catchphrases.
That's not what your country can do for you.
Right. It's great. So that's a good pick. And you're right. From a certain perspective, he is the hero. He's just doing what he's programmed to. What's the difference between Chip Hazard and Roy Batty from Blade Runner, which we're talking about next week? What's the difference? There's no difference. There's no difference. What I want to see the sequel where Chip awakens. He awakens to like life and the joy and beauty of things, and how short and fleeting our time here is in this cosmic adventure. Speaking of cosmic adventure, Jelani, what's a character that in performance you want to highlight?
I'm gonna go with Dennis Leary from Global Tech. His character, I absolutely love it because he just busts in at the end, and like people are like, "What's happening to my stuff? My house has been blown up. My things have been blown up." He's like, "What?"
He bookends the movie.
Cuts him a check. He's the quintessential billionaire asshole. Like, and he has a saunter about him at the beginning when he's getting pitched this, and he actually believes that like the toy is punching through the box. I love that crap.
He's so stupid. You can imagine some guy up there, like some big wig, some rich schmo being like, "Do they really do that?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, man, that's not. It's a toy. It's a toy.
This whole spiel, like, I'm tired of advertisements where this happens and it doesn't actually do it.
Dude, Dennis Leary rant, dude. He will fit one in every movie he's in.
He's good, and it's so great. It is. I love his little catchphrase. I forgot what it was at the last part. It was, but everything else is just a toy.
Everything else is just a toy.
And it's just
gives you if this was his movie, it could have been a Scrooged. Right?
He's got that energy. Has that presence. Yeah, he has that presence of it. And I liked him in this movie. I mean, he's only in it for the two major parts at the end, but I don't know what it was. It was just very memorable to me. And this is the first time I've seen it in like you 20 years, almost 20 years. And I forgot he was in it, and his performance is memorable to me just from that little interaction that he does.
Yeah, it is. So, and like Manny says, you don't get Dennis Leary without writing or allowing him to ad lib one of those rants in it. My favorite of which being in Demolition Man.
Yeah, the Demolition Man. That's the S tier one.
Yes, it really is. All right, Jay Willie, speaking of S tier, what do you got? What's your favorite character or performance you want to highlight?
It's an underrated one, man. I don't think anyone was going to take it. So I'm going to Brick Bazooka was my favorite. The blonde flat top. Like, I don't know, like when I was a kid, like he was like my favorite like looking figure. And then rewatching it again, like he had such funny lines, and I don't know. I think he was just always my favorite, and I'm sticking with it. I just love that figure. I love that the bike on the chase scene where he's just like hanging on for dear life when the dog comes and fucks him up completely. And it was just funny. And then they just tape him back up, and he just keeps on rolling, man. And one of the funniest scenes to me was when when the Barbie doll, like the Barbie dolls, but the Gwendy dolls came to life. And he's just sitting there like looking at him, and he's like, "Permission to have 3 days off, sir." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
He was like, "Bombshell, sir," and he was like, "Permission to have 3 days leave." Like that always killed me. Like I didn't understand it as a kid, but while rewatching it, I'm like, "Oh, that dog."
Yeah, you're watching as
like,
an adult, and you're like, they're trying to fuck some Barbie dolls, man.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
With nothing, they ain't got no parts.
There's no business.
Well, I mean, you don't know.
If they can make them dolls come to life, I bet they can make some business happen.
And Dennis Leary's like, does he have junk? Does he have actual junk?
Yeah, I just always liked the look of that character, man. And
and
I'm just gonna go with him.
Brick is voiced by the legendary George Kennedy.
Yeah, Cool Hand Luke and
Cool Hand Luke's what I
everybody from the Dirty Dozen, the freaking Dirty Dozen voices these, and I was like, what? Because I watched the credit list, I was like, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it blew my mind today too. I literally, and I went and looked up each one of them, and I was like, what? Yeah,
Jim Brown,
Jim Brown,
like,
yep. That was nice, man.
Spinal Tap doing the freaking Gorgons.
The Gorgons, yeah.
I love Bruce Dern, of course, from The Burbs, right? So like that voice was instantaneous right there. Yeah, and Christina Ricci and Sarah Michelle Gellar do the Gwendy dolls.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but it makes sense because you can hear it.
Is like so.
Yeah, when I IMDb'd this movie, I was just like blown away. I was like, holy shit!
Like the star power in this movie, man,
it's
is
crazy,
ridiculous.
Man. But yeah, I'll go Brick Bazooka for sure.
That's a good pick, man. That's a good one, man. What about you, Brooks? What you got?
A character that just like caught me by surprise was the main character's mom. It's like when the soldiers start attacking the house, like all of a sudden she becomes like the badass. And she just gets this like out of fucking absolutely nowhere. Like this character just becomes like a super badass who's like fucking using a tennis racket to lob explosives back at him and shit. Yeah. Like telling, basically like, getting the other two into the closet, he's taking charge. I was like, and then after that, she's just pretty much gone, but she just gets that one little like flash in the pan moment that I just thought that was so amusing that they threw that in there.
Hell yeah, man. Give the mom a little bit of a bit to do, right? Yeah. And was that Phil Hartman's wife, right? So that was the neighbor.
No, that was
okay. Yeah. And that guy, you see him in tons of shit. That guy. I'm glad that nobody said the fucking kid, because I think the kid's one of the worst in the movies, to be honest with you. Was that Gregory Smith?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I didn't recognize him from anything else.
I don't think he's been in anything else.
He was
apparently he was in Everwood.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was like on CW for like ever, WB or whatever it was.
Kevin Dunn is the name of the guy that plays his dad. And then, but I love Phil Hartman, so I'll highlight him real quick. Phil Hartman as being like, and this dates the film, is his level of state of the art technology with his like big screen rear projection TV and like all that, like the satellite dish, and like you can get a smaller one, but you don't get this signal. And that satellite dish is
John Horseshoe.
A little
yes.
It's a little bit like that, but that was a fun character to throw in there. And I love the bit when him and his wife are drinking gin and tonics and don't realize that there's a dissolving blue pill in it. But whatever. I also really want to highlight Archer, voiced by Frank Langella. So pure, so like just like immediately you're just like, oh, don't kill this, like, what is he, like a puppy or something? I don't know, man. But like, that's such a great character. Frank Langella, once again, playing an action figure, Skeletor into Archer, but he's playing the other side, but he makes it work. That voice really carries it for me. So one of the things I like about this movie is that Joe Dante is able to have a lot of fun with it. He gets to reference a lot of his own movies. He gets to reference a lot of old school movies. He's doing that with his voice cast. He's doing that with some of the bits that are in the movie. There's the moment where they put the one of the toys in the garbage disposal and spin it around, referencing like that scene from Gremlins. There's the Gizmo bit, which is the password, and David Cross, which is what a waste of David Cross's potential in this film if you really think about it, right? Yeah. But that was David Cross in the 90s.
I always think a scary movie too with him.
David Cross.
Scary Movie 2 was gold with him. I always think, every time I see him, I think of him in that wheelchair. Every time.
Oh, God.
Brooks, why are you moving? We're supposed to be doing the bit. You like ruined it by moving. Anyway, all right. Moving on. Style and structure of the film. I like that self-referential flair to it, that referencing of Hollywood, that referencing of your previous movies using the same actors. You got to have Dick Miller in it. You got to have Robert Picardo in it. And I love that Dick Miller is just this shady-ass toy delivery guy who's just like, he's like, you're talking, I don't like the tone. You're talking too loud. Yeah. Like, bro, you're trying to make deals with like a 13-year-old? Like, what's going on here? And you're trying to tell me this kid got kicked out of school twice? He's the most like square ass fucking kid I've ever seen in one of these things. He's got the square kid haircut, all that jazz, right? Anyway, the style and structure I think is done really well for what it is. Special effects hold up because they don't try to stretch too far. They use puppetry in there as well. All of the practical explosions and things really make it feel threatening, almost like you got these toys coming at you with nail guns, like rapid firing. Like, that's freaking scary. It gives you a little bit of a Gremlins kind of vibe, but it doesn't go quite as far as Gremlins because it doesn't get to go that far. But story-wise, they push it a little bit. One of my favorite moments is when that little kid comes up and he's like, all right, gentlemen, get him. And they just like, dude, they could have easily killed that kid. And this movie could have taken a different direction if Stuart Gordon would have done this movie. Right? Like, he did Dolls, right? You know, like, imagine where we would go. There's a great horror movie in the midst of this that would also explore all that thematic material, Brooks, of like the criticism of the military industrial complex and all that kind of jazz and Silicon Valley at the same time, right? But it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got a nice pace. It moves along briskly. It's funny. It's punchy. And that's what I like about this film. What do you think about the style and structure, my man?
It's exactly like you said. It's a Joe Dante movie. Like it's goofy when it has to be. It's well shot. It's well done. I love the Stan Winston puppets and the fact that they are incorporating the CG with the puppets. You know, because then there are scenes where the puppets have weight, where they feel like they're physically there, and I think that helps to maintain that level of suspension of disbelief. I really like the thing is that I really like the middle, like just the Barbie doll part, like that's the darkness I want from this film. And I feel like it was kind of neutered on the other ends of it.
Yeah.
Pacing is good. The cast is great. The Gorgonite cast, the Spinal Tap guys are a little wasted in my opinion, because they just kind of do goofy shit and they just stay doing goofy shit. You know what I mean? They don't really get their super big moments to shine.
Yeah, you can't really pick them out when you're first watching it.
No,
it's not like known that that's Christopher Guest. So now you know who it is, right? So
Yep. And so I like it. I think that the last like 30 minutes of the film, it kind of feels like the film like has an ending and then it just continues. You know what I mean? For a little bit. And I like that last little bit, but it does kind of like, oh, it's not, no, okay, it's not done. There's still half an hour of this movie left, you know. But otherwise, yeah, I love it.
It does kind of do that false ending thing, right?
Yeah,
it does kind of do that. But then it really starts kicking it up. And that's something I like about the film is it gets right into it. Like, they're breaking out of those things immediately. Chip Hazard sending his men on the mission, right? And it moves forward pretty quick. And even though, honestly, you know, you could think story-wise, the Gorgonites, there's not enough there to really like work story-wise to make them like they're programmed to lose, so they're the bad guys. But like, I don't know, there's just something that could be maybe strengthened a little bit there if I had to nitpick. What about you, Jelani? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I like it. It carries that balance, like I said before, just serious and funny. It does that. Joe Dante does do that very well with this film. I like the CG. It's very nice in places, like we've discussed before, and how the models look. But I don't know what it is about it, but I like how like there's the scene where the kid comes in to try to save Kirsten Dunst. Well, he's trying to figure. He runs in the house, the boyfriend, and he tries to run in the house, and he sees all the dolls, and the dolls start to attack him, and they're crawling on him, and all this other stuff. And they're like, you need a manicure, all that crap. And that one scene freaks me out. Like, I don't know why, because maybe it's because I'm surrounded by toys. And one of these days they might come alive. But even if they did, I treat them good, so I don't worry about it. But so it's little things like that freak me out a little, like things coming to life, coming at you. The punchiness of the pace of this the way you say it before, it's paced well. It keeps you intrigued throughout the film, and it has those little scary bits. Like they could have died. Everyone here could have died like really quick. Like apparently they can make machines like, I can't believe a chip is that advanced to where they have programming where they know how to make items, weapons for themselves. That's scarier and then also creating life.
Are you trying to say it'd be more believable if it was just a magic spell or something that brought these toys to life?
No, I hate the magic spell was the EMP that killed them all. How they faked an EMP.
Wait, you can do that? You can
let's shut down.
That's how you do an
EMP.
Okay,
sure. I didn't know that's how that worked. I thought it was a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever you say. We can also do it with this telephone pole, this light pole.
Well, don't you know how every time a transformer blows in your neighborhood, all of your electrical devices, even the battery operated ones, are dead?
Yeah, they're dead.
Gone.
Yeah, just shot. You're done. Yeah. You gotta start all over again.
Your pets even are just
yep, Stone Ages, man. It's freaking Stone Ages. Yeah, you're done. So yeah, it's little stuff like that throw me off, but. I mean, it's slightly believable. I could kick all of their little asses. I know that. And it just felt like they weren't swatting enough. I don't feel like people were when they were attacking them. I'm like, you're not hitting them hard enough.
Yeah, or you ain't smashing.
I'm way bigger than you, and I haven't picked up a weapon yet. No one in that house, other than the mom, that picked up a tennis racket, picked up any sticks or baseball bats or anything laying around in the house that can be used to beat something that's a toy to death. I'm a gun, anything. It just baffled my mind. It just blew my mind in places. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's
honestly, the kid could just stomped on him the first time he came across him.
Yeah,
before they built all those crazy ass machines.
Right. How did you get this far? I'm like, what did you do?
Poor planning and lack of preparation. How about that? That's what it is.
It hurts my head. It hurts my head a lot. And I do. Did this movie make a ton of money or something? I don't know.
Let's look at it real quick. So its budget was $40 million. It made $87.5 million.
Okay, so
it made money.
It is a profit.
But I'm sure with the advertising campaign that they wanted this to be a lot more. They probably. The bigger impact on this film wasn't Joe Dante's legacy, wasn't the legacy of Small Soldiers. It was the legacy of onion rings on fast food burgers.
Yep.
Hardee's was pissed. They were like, we were doing that shit for years. All
right, Jay Willie, what do you think about the style and structure of the film? Basically, the way it was written, the special effects, the way it was shot. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was done well, man. I mean, like you guys said before, I thought the pace was solid. I thought it was paced really well. And then, like you said, there's so much going into it. There's action, there's comedy, there's sci-fi, there's horror undertones. Because like Delaney said, that scene when those dolls came to life and the lights were flickering and the shit was going wrong, I was like, damn, this is crazy as hell. This is a little freaky. And so it has that element too. And just the way the action looks, like you said, it looks really clean even today. I mean, I know it came out in '98, but even up today, it holds up solid. I mean, when I watched it today, I was like, damn, this is pretty clean. I really enjoyed it. The action was nice, and mixed the humor mixed in, the comedy mixed in with it. It meshed well, and like you guys said, Joe Dante he's the king of bringing toys to life, and this is just another example of it. He he killed it. I thought it was done really well. I did. I like
Absolutely. Yeah, it has an energy to it that Joe Dante brings to everything that he does, and sometimes when you're a kid, like when I was a kid watching Gremlins, when I was watching The Burbs, and when I was a little bit older watching things like Small Soldiers and Looney Tunes Back in Action, there's certain things you miss. And when you watch it as an adult, you get it because you have more of an appreciation for older style filmmaking or certain things that happen. And he references so much, brings back so many old school actors. And it's just a pleasure. Like whenever I watch one of his movies, you got to have Dick Miller. You got to have Robert Picardo. You got to have this kind of 80s kid, like family friendly movies in the 80s were way different than they are nowadays. And Small Soldiers is one of the last vestiges of that kind of era for me. Brooks, what do you think about the style and structure? Oh, wait, what's that?
I was just going to say, I think Joe Dante just has fun making movies. I think when he's making a kid's movie, he's not pandering or like, fuck, I'm making a kid's movie. He has as much fun making this movie as he makes anything else. At least that's the way it feels. And
you
comes
can see
through.
it. Yeah, you can feel it. You can.
Maybe it's because he makes movies as a kid. Even something like Matinee, right? Like everything he does, you can feel like this is what, when you're a kid watching movies, you imagine like these are the kind of movies I want to make.
Has that energy,
yeah. Very useful, very exuberant. Yeah, it's boisterous. What about you, Brooks? Speaking of boisterous, you're boisterous Brooks tonight.
Oh boy,
what do you think about the style and structure of the film, my man?
I like it. This movie is like, I think it's it is well paced. It builds up pretty quick. It doesn't dick around too long, and I like the mixture of the comedy with some of the more darker aspects. I think works really good. This is just such an odd movie. Like it's really dumb in some ways, but in a lot of ways it's really smart. It's like I don't know. It's a swirling massive contradictions sometimes. It feels like
so much going on.
But it's engaging. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. It's so engaging. It doesn't bore you,
Yeah, it's never boring. Another thing that makes a Joe Dante film is the Jerry Goldsmith score. And I love the music in this movie. It's got that 90s whimsical flair. Like, God damn it. Rewatching things and paying attention to the music even more every time I watch a movie. The 90s movies all have a certain kind of vibe to them, don't they? And it's just this whimsical, like Disney kind of dun, dun, like bouncy quality. It just like these strings that are bouncing and just like life is great here in the suburbs where everything's white and clean.
Home Alone,
all that kind of shit, right? Yeah, exactly.
Gremlins.
Just get into it.
But Jerry Goldsmith's recognizing the militaristic aspect of this film and adding in the drums, I think Jerry Goldsmith's like, I wanted to score an American Revolution film my entire life. And here's my chance with the flutes and all that shit. So that's thrown in to the typical Jerry Goldsmith flair with that 90s whimsical quality. Is it an A+ score? No, especially considering this is the dude that did the score on Alien. This is the dude that did the score on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's not at the tip top of his capabilities, but it's doing the job. What do you think, Manny?
Dude, the orchestral stuff, the stuff that you really geek out about, I think it works great. Like I when it's on, I think that there's some really cool parts where like he uses like fades in the edit, where it's like do, you know what I mean? I think are super effective. But the actual like I don't know what the hell you call it, the soundtrack, the music from this. Yeah. I had that album. I freaking love that. It had Bone Thugs and Harmony on it. It had War, it had Rush. There's all kinds of cool shit on that soundtrack. And that one was freaking phenomenal. I don't know that it fits in with the movie very well, but that was a great CD.
Well, War does, right? That song does. But it's like the most obvious song to put into a movie that's got an anti-war message.
War. Pat Benatar.
Oh
like
yeah,
perfectly placed.
Love is a Battlefield.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's one of my favorite parts. When like the love interest shows up, all of a sudden Love is a Battlefield starts playing.
Yeah.
That's like so on the fucking nose. Every little choice there, just like, can we
And
afford
I
it?
can't believe y'all were forgetting the Spice Girls, man. I love that song.
Oh yeah.
And in
I had that song stuck in my head all
Psychological
day.
warfare.
in '98, we're at the level now where they're on the wane, right?
Yeah.
And so like it's so weird because now it's like now we can afford the song in order and they're like, yes, buy the rights to the song. Why? To make fun of it.
Yep.
Right? Like, yeah. That dates the fucking movie.
I love that movie.
If you want to be because
I love that song.
History hasn't been kind to
I had
that
that shit stuck in my head
assessment.
all day.
History hasn't been kind to that assessment. We like the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
And it's
like
not that song.
I hate that song though.
That song is really fucking obnoxious.
Yeah,
I was born in that like
Say You'll Be There though. That's the fucking shit.
dude.
Yeah.
That's the jam right there.
Dude.
Say you will be there.
Yeah.
What do you think
I
then
love
about
Spice
the
Girls.
music, Jelani?
Yeah, I loved it, man. It's. I mean, yeah, the score for me wasn't that memorable.
I was gonna be like, y'all noticed the Spice Girls more than fucking Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
Legendary Jerry Goldsmith. Dun 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 dun. You remember that Gremlin rag? Dun dun dun
Yes,
dun dun dun. Yeah, that's him.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. Thank you. Yeah, they spent a lot of money on this movie, man.
Heathens.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna live a long life with that small soldiers mentality. But small soldiers, man, I don't remember anything from it. I mean, there's no theme. There's no like da 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 da. Well, that was kind of it. But
You don't
that's
remember
all I
all the
remember from
military shit, like
Yeah,
the
and the
drums, all the
and
patent.
the patent part. Yeah, the patent part was okay. It's okay, but like it felt like background. It's just background to me. I mean, I loved War. I love the soundtrack. Like Manny said, the soundtrack pops it. I mean, it makes the rest of the film
all right
bearable in those parts. Of course, I love the Spice Girls. That was my favorite part because when they played, I was like, "This was in this movie."
They played a lot of it too.
Awesome.
They played a fucking lot of that movie, and it was loud.
It was loud. Yeah, it was worth it. And it just, I don't know. I liked it. It was, like I said, the score was not that memorable to me, so I can't really say too
Well,
much.
I
on
did
it.
say it was mid-tier for Jerry Goldsmith, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Motion picture set. Yeah, that's the best part of that movie because that movie's trash. There, I'm done. It was trash.
all right, Jay Willie, what do you think about the music of the film?
Man, I got hyped today, man. Like any movie that can have the Spice Girls, Led Zeppelin, Queen, and make it work. Like I was fucking hyped, man. Because
I
like
forgot that they
I
did
enjoyed
have Led
Queen,
Zeppelin
I
in there.
enjoyed Zeppelin, I enjoyed Spice
It's
Girls.
Kirsten Dunst's
Like,
favorite band.
yeah, all of them were like perfectly played. Like when they came on, I was like, yes. I was like, this just adds to the scene. Like it was just, I really enjoyed it. I did, man. Like the music, I really enjoyed. I thought they were all perfectly placed. Like you said, they're on the nose, but they're on the nose where you're like, you can enjoy it and you can bop to it. You can be like, okay, I like this. Yeah, I enjoyed the music for sure, man.
Well, the movie is on the nose, right? So it fits that, right? And I forgot about the Led Zeppelin bit and you're right. Yeah, and Queen, like that's really really wild. Some of the choices made in here. What about you, Brooks? What do you think about the music?
But they all worked for me. They did. For me, I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed the music.
Brooks, what do you think?
I liked it. I thought the score was pretty standard, you know. It is very reminiscent of, 90s kind of kid action movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
It's better than the score to Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
We gotta watch that again.
We do.
Yeah.
Hey,
I did like
Crew's Choice is coming up. Oh, by the way, Manny, you're a crew now, so you get a Crew's Choice.
We are finally watching Dr. Sleep. God damn it!
Dr. Sleep dude, I love that movie, man. Dr. Sleep is awesome. Yeah.
Nice. That's one Jay Strick was thinking about, was doing Dr. Sleep.
I still gotta think about it.
So you freed him up. Anyway, go ahead, Brooks. Music. Not memorable, but you like Led Zeppelin and Queen.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack songs are good, I think. I back in the day, I was a classic rock guy. So hearing like Communication Breakdown and another one, Bites the Dust, I got a kick out of that. I think it's a decent soundtrack, you know.
I'm just glad I'm the only one that realized that Jerry Goldsmith did the fucking score for this, but that's okay. All right. I'm glad that you guys remembered Led Zeppelin was in here, so there you go.
Oh,
And
what's
Spice
important.
the Led Zeppelin thing was always weird for me as a kid because I'm the same age as those two characters when this film came out. I don't know a single fucking person in my middle school that listened to Led Zeppelin at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Brooks
that was always
did.
a weird bit.
Brooks would have been that guy.
Yeah, like there weren't a whole lot of like classic rock kids at my high school either. Everybody was listening to all that modern stuff.
Yeah, but we all loved Skinner, didn't we?
All that rap music.
We all love our Skinner and our new metal rap. Anyway, moving on. What is the movie trying to say? What's the thematic material? What is Joe Dante and the plethora of writers involved in this film? Because it's always a bad sign usually when you have 4 different writers. Gavin Scott, Adam Rifkin, Ted Elliott, Terry Rossio. What are they trying to say? What's this movie saying to you, Manny?
This movie is about the transition between children to adults. What you see happening in it's real subtle. Like Kirsten Dunst's character, she has like rainbow unicorn posters and fucking Led Zeppelin posters, right? She collects Gwendy dolls, but she's always hated the Gwendy dolls. You know what I mean? Like there's like this weird transition thing happening. And then the toys themselves are symbolic of that. They're got childlike innocence on the Gorgon side and black and white, you know, programming on the military side, right? So there's this dichotomy that's running throughout the dad and the whimsical toys and the educational toys that he wants to hold on to versus Phil Hartman with the technology. I think that it's a film about transitioning and existing between those two. That's what I think it's about.
Bro, I think that's rather profound, to be honest with you.
Really?
I didn't. Yeah, and I didn't pick up on that, but you're actually on there.
Solid.
Like the toys,
Yeah,
the toys are not innocent anymore, and it is that journey of
right.
Adam and Kirsten Dunst's character. They're losing that innocence too, because the kid's he's got kicked out of 2 schools. He's trying to help his father's shitty ass toy store, because we all had that toy store that didn't have like X-Men toys. They just had like train sets and wood blocks, and we were all like, what?
Yeah, fuck you, creative kid stuff. All right.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Scholastic.
Excuse me. Did you say learn? Right. But no, that's the loss of innocence from the simpleness of just playing with the toy into the real world. That's actually rather profound, man.
Yeah, that was really good.
just trying to do a little bit there. You probably the most profound statement of the night. But Jelani, try to top it. What do you think the movie's about?
I don't know. I was just gonna think about look before you leap. Because I think Jay Moore like took a step too far in trying to impress his boss, and in doing so, he caused a much bigger thing. Like, had that's happened now, he'd have been drugged through the media and canceled and lost his job. And
hey,
lost
real quick
all
though, don't you love the idea where he just goes, "Okay, I have access to their database, real good microchips."
Yeah, that's all I need.
It was so
you get this secret military technology just at will.
To get. Yeah.
Well, it's Global Tech. Global Tech has everything. So they're like, you get what you want. So it was a one-stop shop for him. But at the same time, it was reckless. And it was just looking before you know what I'm saying? You got to look. You got to watch. You got to see what you're doing. And, you know, there was no product testing and all this other stuff. And I know that was Dennis Leary like, I want this in 3 months instead of we need 6 months because we need these kids to play with this toy to figure out what it is. Like, no, this thing is like, we're just making AI. We're sitting up here making AI. That's the craziest part. And it's that, yeah, I agree with you, Manny. It is a loss of innocence. It's when the toys take over. And you feel your childhood going away. But at the same time, I think it's also what, you know, you got to think about what you're going to do before you do it. And I always go back to Jay Moore at the beginning of this film because of what he did. That one dumb thing that he did caused all of this to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I that's how I feel with it. That's what my takeaway was.
Jay Moore could have done a little J less. You know what I'm saying?
Wah, wah.
What about you, Jay Willie? What's this movie trying to say?
Yeah, man, this is the hardest one to come up with because I'm more along the lines with Jelani as opposed to Manny because I just came out of it with people will do whatever they can to move on up and not think about any repercussions or any consequences. And if their boss has money, they feel like they can just pay people off and get away with it. I mean, they fucking made a mess of things, and then he's passing out his checks at the end. He's like, here you go. And
that's a great
statement
there. Jacob, that's a great statement there at the end when even the dad's like, no, you can't pay us off. You can't. Okay. Because I mean, honest, how many times like there are things like I would whine and whine and whine about the Mexican pizza, but if Taco Bell gave me $50,000 to shut up, I'd be like, all right.
Literally, man. Like he was just passing them out, and everybody was like, all right, that's good.
That must have been a lot of zeros.
We're talking about five. I bet we're talking about 6 to 5 figures on those. Probably upper 6 figures is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
it's
that's that was the hardest one for me to come up with, but yeah, that's pretty much what I took away.
Shut up, money. Yeah,
no, that's right.
Exactly.
I mean, the beautiful thing about movies and story and fiction is that we can pull so much from it because all of human experience is out there available to everybody, I think, on a collective unconscious level. And then we all have our personal experiences that connect us to everybody else. Like as different as the 5 of us right now are and everybody in the chat, we're all very much the same as well, right? So the movie hits these universal themes and they're very complex, right? So the movie is about that loss of innocence from childhood to adulthood. It is about the greed and of ambition for just ambition's sake without looking at what is good for the common people, without thinking before you leap. But sometimes you got to leap, just like Neo did in The Matrix. Several times, apparently. However, speaking of looking before you leap. What? Looking before you leap? That's right. He does it the right way. He looks both ways before he leaps into the middle of the street. Brooks, what's this movie about?
Well, I mean, I touched on this earlier. This movie is very much about kind of the way we see our military. Because, as Americans, we've always been raised to, revere our military men, our servicemen, see them as heroes, like you don't speak bad about them. But this movie, it kind of is like, but what if you were what if these American archetype, soldier hero types were invading you instead, like having to kind of look at the archetype of the hero soldier from the point of view of like a civilian that's being invaded by said military. I think this movie it's interesting, it's an interesting critique of war. Like, we see no blame in ourselves, but, if we actually thought about it, and tried to see things from the perspective of someone, who's not us, but who is affected by our actions, it's just like, this is a movie that would people would not like this movie if it was made today. There would be a lot of complaints about this movie, I think. But it's not demonizing the military so much as it's kind of like, like saying like, it's kind of like just shining a light, I guess, on how we shouldn't, hold our soldiers on a pedestal so much,
Well, maybe not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say the military or soldiers. I would say more so on the military industrial complex.
Our idea of what a soldier is. Like G.I. Joe isn't like what soldiers aren't actually like G.I. Joes, but G.I. Joe is kind of like the archetype we think of our soldiers as,
Gotcha.
You got the demolitions expert. You got the fucking, the tough brawler guy.
Oh, they're playing with the tropes for sure. Yeah. For me, y'all are all on the money there. I mean, it is a little bit of a criticism, I think, of war in general, like just the war machine.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily anti-military.
Bro.
But the thing is, it does have that loss of innocence thing. Man, Manny, that was really profound.
Yeah, Manny hit it, man. He did.
Yeah, I stared right into my camera and pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you
good.
fucking
It
killed it.
We all watched you do it.
You know, and Jay Willie and Gizmo over there, they had their bits too, and that's all valid. But I would also say it is a criticism of like this corporate culture and almost the militarization of corporate culture, like the idea of ambition, which you guys touched on, but above and beyond that, like focusing on Dennis Leary. This is a dude who owns so much shit that these kind of chips, this dangerous ass weapons technology, because that's what it is available to put into a fucking toy because he just happens to own a toy company and all he cares about is his crazy ass idea that what's in the commercial should be real. And I got a toy company.
No repercussions either.
Yeah,
none.
So to me, it's
benefit because
the
now he's got a weapon to sell the military.
Yeah, the scathing criticism to me is the idea of the corporatized nature of things, that there's no care or passion. David Cross had passion for the story he was trying to create with his toys. Whether it's toys, movies, whether it's toys like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, whether it's movies like Beastmaster, whether it's TV series like Mortal Kombat. You gotta have you're wanting to build a story, right? And you're wanting to tell something there, right? And when this corporate idea of just crushing ambition and numbers and profits and who cares, is it a toy, is it a comic, is it a video game, is it a movie, is it a TV series, who gives a shit? Like, let's do what we can to make it make money, and if we have problems, we'll pay it off. Like, that idea of all that's really important is storytelling. And that's what David Cross wanted to do. And that's what comes across. And to me, the true heroes and heart of the story, the Gorgonites, right? They're just normal dudes trying to do their thing, you know, and having fun. Like in Daredevil, Batman, all that jazz, and more. But no, it's about like the corporatization, the way that can deflate the importance of story sometimes to me. So maybe it's about creators' rights. I don't fucking know.
Isn't it sad too that corporation takes these soldiers and tells them to kill Gorgonite? Like there's no rationale. They don't have any interaction. These are chips that
they
could
don't
learn
care about anybody else either.
No, in a different situation. Well, I mean, they don't attack the humans at first. They just tie them up. You know what I mean? They're very
The humans are just obstacles to them. You know, like they don't care if they get hurt, but you know they won't go out of their way to hurt them.
No, like.
But what's funny is that I bet Joe Dante wanted to actually maim and kill some kids for real in this movie, and I bet the corporation was like, "No, don't do that. We'll sell more rodeo burgers if they just tie the kid up." So it's actually
associated with dead children.
It's a meta statement.
You've seen the poster of Chip Hazard in this film and on the displays and on the box. He's holding a gun that they got rid of. He's just doing this because the corporations are like, no, we got to get rid of the gun that he's holding. So it's just a photoshopped out gun in all the posters. So yeah, there's definitely some corporate manhandling,
It's also a movie about going beyond and above your programming to find the dream beyond. Where's the land of Gorgon? Right? There isn't one, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that their belief in that rises them above spiritually from just animatronic little bullshit toys.
Because you can't see something doesn't mean it ain't real.
That's the whole thing. Archer said it, right?
Yep.
It's like the wind.
Just because you can't see something, Ellen, doesn't mean it isn't there.
She's like the wind.
Oh, man.
I'm going to Dirty Dancing.
All right, it's time to rate the film, everybody. You out there in the chat, Fable's in the house. He says Daredevil and Batman are his favorites. I know, man. This is great.
Yay.
It's a new bit, bro. It's a whole thing. Dude, we'll explain it to you. It's the best new bit, man. It's great. It's like the new You're Worth It. It's really good. Anyway.
You're right, Jay. That was a great video game.
I don't remember the video game.
I don't either.
It was on the PS1.
Yeah, that was after my video game time. Yeah.
Anything post Super NES, he doesn't give a shit about. Was this like MLB The Show?
Like first wave N64, I'm good with, man. GoldenEye, I can hang with that. Up to Conker's Bad Fur Day. That was the last new game I played. Anyway, moving on. Out of 5 possible you digs, you out there in the chat, what do you give Small Soldiers? We already got them coming in. And Manny, what's your rating on this brilliant film?
Oh, this film is. I can't do it again because everyone's gonna be like, he always says a 5 because nobody's paying attention. I'm like, they're either gonna say that. But fuck y'all, I'm giving it a 5. It's a great movie. I enjoy the hell out of this movie. I mean, it's no Skeleton Key, but it's close. I love this movie. I'm giving it a 5. 5 you digs all day long. I'll watch this movie any day of the week.
Hell yeah. All right, what's some onion rings? Speaking of onion rings, he's got some on the way right now from DoorDash, I've heard. What about you, Jelani? What do you give this out of 5 possible you digs? You muted, my man.
Myself. I'll unmute myself now.
So unprofessional.
Well, I was talking the whole time.
Well, welcome to PCP Movie Night.
Thanks, guys. So,
you're embarrassing us, dude.
You're an embarrassment. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, my head. Sorry. Well, I mean, it's okay. I don't mind this film. It's fairly decent in a lot of different ways. The star power in it is amazing. The music's all right. The CG is very good. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'll watch it again. I'll watch it again probably with my cousins because my cousins would enjoy this. So yeah, I liked it a lot. I'll give it 3.5. And by the way, the Gorgonites, like those were the only set of Gorgonites they had. You mean they had a factory full of like freaking small soldier commando elites and didn't have any Gorgonites to sell, and that they were
Maybe the chase figures.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Well, they needed things to fight, and if you have like a chip in your head in your programming is set up to kill Gorgonites, and there are no Gorgonites. I mean, what happens if the kid just buys like one commando elite, and that one commando elite is like, where are the Gorgonites? I gotta kill Gorgonite. You know what I'm saying?
They're programmed to learn, so maybe they could have learned to have a different purpose. Like I want to believe
that's what Archer did.
Yeah,
on the internet.
Yeah,
he had the opposite effect that Ultron got once he got on the internet because he just went and looked up Abe Lincoln, and he was like, "Where's Gorgon?" Frank Langella probably didn't even know what fucking movie he was doing. Let's be honest.
He was like,
there was no script for him. They were just recording random shit he was saying during the day. And
he's just sitting there eating a fucking rodeo burger one day. I am Archer of the Gorgonites.
Recorded. It's great.
He said, and beyond that once, and they just kept repeating that for that scene like 7 times.
He does repeat the same shit over and over. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. He was talking about farts, by the way. What about you, Jay Willie? What do you give this out of 5 you digs?
Man, I've been flirting with a 4 or 5 all day, but just talking about it, rewatching it, and just off of like nostalgia and enjoyment alone, I'm going with a 5. Fuck it, I'm going with a 5. I gotta go 5 all day for sure, man. Childhood favorite.
That always happens when we do these things. Like I was going to give it a lower score, but now that I talked about it,
exactly.
Sometimes it goes the other way though. You're like, well, I was going to give it a better score, but after tonight,
I gotta go 5. I got to.
Nice. It's no Hellraiser judgment, but Small Soldiers is serviceable. All right, Brooks, what about you, man? Are you going to go into the depths of nostalgia bait like Manny and Jay Willie here? Or are you going to try to keep it a little too real like Jelani?
Yeah, I'd give this one a 4. I mean, it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good above average movie for me. I don't think it's like 5 worthy exactly.
Well, but we also weren't necessarily as there when we were kids.
Children.
Yeah.
Y'all are kitty kids that saw it and ate rodeo
That's
burgers.
what I mean. That's what I'm basing
I get it. I get it. I gave Beastmaster 5.
You did get Beastmaster 5 just 7 days ago. Even I'm like, 5? I love this movie.
I love it. Nostalgia, man.
I know, man.
The power of it.
Dude, Master of the Universe, fucking
Master of the Universe, 5.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Why? Wait, we were really forgiving of Super Mario Brothers. Okay.
All were. Listen,
and the fact that movie actually, all in all, we need to have a talk. To fans, Super Mario Brothers is a fucking lie. That movie is just a lie, as what it's selling us is not what it delivered. So ultimately, it's a lie, but such a beautiful lie.
Mm-hmm. To you.
Speaking of beautiful lies, I'm gonna go with Brooks. I give it a 4. I think a 4 is pretty solid for this film. It may actually deserve a 3.5, but I'm a big Joe Dante fan, and I love all the Joe Dante isms in this movie. I love the ridiculousness of it. I don't care about the kids or their journey or whatever he's trying to do. I really don't. I care about Phil Hartman's character. I care about the Gorgonites, and I love the Commandos Elite. What are they called? The Elite Commandos? Commando Elite. I love them. They're great, dude. They're like performing their hearts out. It's so funny. It knows it's ridiculous. It knows what it's trying to do. And it doesn't reach too far, and it does reach mostly what it's trying to. 4 from me. So, 4 from me and Brooks, a 5 from Manny and Jacob, and a 3.5 from Jelani, for a PCP average of 4.49. 9, 7, 6, 8, 3, 8, 69, dudes.
We don't do math here.
Hell yeah. We do math. We don't do math. We do 69. All right. TM Nerdy says 5, you digs. Bobby De La Ghetto says 5, damn it. Phil Hartman deserves a 5.
Aww.
No Grow says 5 all day. Don't do it, Jab. Don't do it.
I did it. You'll get over it.
The nostalgia is strong with this one. Steph says, Missing Link says, I want to say 4 out of 5, but I haven't watched it recently. Okay. There you go. So that was our review of Small Soldiers. Join us next week when we're talking about a movie that says just as much thematically rich material and substance as this one. We're talking about Blade Runner next week, y'all. Join us. It's going to be a slam bang full night. Lots of people wanted to get on that stream. Some people going to get disappointed because we ain't got room for everybody, but it's going to be a fun stream. Watch everybody dip out. Like, I'm going to be like, sorry, bro, we can't do it. This guy wants to be on, and he's going to, like, no show. But Blade Runner next week. But before that, for Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday, Blood Diner. Yeah. After 2 weeks of disappointments for me, I'm very excited that I got to choose. Good, huh? Yeah, dude. Dylan put me through 2 movies that I just did not necessarily like, and him and Verno kept trying to convince me that they were good. But whatever. Jacob's got my back. Scream 5 sucks ass.
Scream was fucking garbage, man.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in back chat. But I'm so pleased that I got to finally fucking choose an episode. And Blood Diner for Saturday, y'all. Watch it if you can. It's going to be a slam bang fantastic time. We'll be back after a short break for PCP Back Chat. And remember, A Few Good Men, you couldn't handle the rodeo burger. What else does he fucking say? Whatever Chip Hazard says. Just do that.
No poor bastard won a war by dying for his country.
There will be no mercy.
some small soldier figures. So y'all go and check it out. Head over to Pop Culture Philosophers over on the YouTubes. And Monsters with a fish named Abe. How's it going, Jay Will, man?
Dude, it's good to meet you, man.
Dude.
Good to meet all you guys.
Oh, dude, Jay Willie, by the way, fantastic job tonight, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You did
appreciate
great.
It, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
I'm going to solo you for a second because I want to see what those posters are. I can make out The Thing, Back to the Future, and Terminator, bruh. Can you get cooler than that, man?
Classic.
You can't.
Yeah, The Thing is my second favorite horror movie, and Terminator is like T1 and T2 are like my favorite action movies for sure. Bruh.
We're thinking about doing a T1, T2 double feature for Action Fest. I'll give you a holler, man.
Hell yeah, man. I'm in.
You did great, man. You passed the test. You know, the
right
first
on.
test was you asked to be on the show. I told you couldn't be on the show. And you graciously were like, cool, man. Thanks for considering it. Then I was like, you passed the test. Let's put him on.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see what he's got. Man. Luckily, you can hear us. So, but I want to spotlight you real quick because I had to sit through 2.5 hours of people I love telling me that Scream 5 was a good fucking movie. So I just need someone to tell me their thoughts on the movie that agree maybe are more aligned with me. Like, I don't like the movie. I don't know if we don't like the movie for the same reason. So I want to know, why didn't you like Scream 5? And there may be some spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care.
I kid you not, man. Like,
I was invited, but nobody invited me. So,
like, I kid you guys not. When you were on with, I believe it was like Dylan and Verno, they had both seen it and you had not. And they were raving about it. And I had seen it at this point too. And they're just raving and raving about it. And I'm like, did we watch the same fucking movie? I was like, there's no way Robbie is going to go into this movie and like agree with you. There's no way. And then I was just like waiting and waiting. I was like waiting for you guys to do this review. And then when you had said what you had said, I was like right on the same level all the way down, man. It was just dumb. The whole like story was dumb. The acting was not there. And I was going into it, you know, not too high expectations because I love Scream 1 and 2, and 4 was, I really enjoyed 4 as well. 3 was the worst. And I was like, there's no way it's going to be worse than 3. And
not
damn,
anymore.
They didn't prove me wrong. It's crazy, man. It was worse than 3. Like everything about it, besides a couple of the kills I did enjoy, I just wasn't feeling it, man. Like my wife was the same way, and Scream is her favorite horror franchise. and then it just bummed her out. And I was like, I felt the same way. I mean, it was just terrible start to finish. Like I couldn't get into it, man.
That's how I was feeling too, man.
That
Like
sucks,
the opening was working for me.
But they didn't kill her.
But they didn't slight spoilers, but they didn't actually kill the opening girl.
Yeah.
What?
Right?
Wait, is she one of the killers?
No.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
The killers, this was the first time in every Scream movie I have
Was it
guessed.
a bunch of Redditors?
I have guessed one of the killers, but not the other, except for 3, because there was only one.
There's only one killer.
And that one took me by surprise. But I figured out both of these fucking killers so early in this movie. I looked over at my buddy Blake and I told him who I thought the killers were. And spot fucking on. Super early, so dumb. One of the legacy characters. So this is their attempt to Force Awakens Scream. They're doing kind of what Matrix Resurrections did. They're trying to make a meta statement on not reboots, not relaunches. What do they call them? They call them
Salt
requels.
reboots?
They call them requels. They're remakes, reboots, and kind of sequels, right? The Force Awakens, Halloween, shit like that. And they're trying to make, at first, she gets the call, by the way, most unbelievable thing in this movie, this chick lives at a house with a fucking landline. Okay?
Yeah. Those don't exist anymore.
Or,
it does.
Second most unbelievable thing, she does, okay, granted, live at a house with a landline, that she fucking answers it. Because who calls a fucking landline?
I think the thing that pissed me off the most, man, and like you said, spoilers ahead, was just the way Dewey was wasted, man. Like, it was just...
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into real quick. Yeah,
what?
so I was about to get into that real quick. But first, so like, they
kill Dewey.
They're trying to make a statement about horror in its current state right now. And so they're talking about elevated horror movies. And they list all these movies. They're A24 films. All right. So they're like, there's a difference between them and that slasher bullshit like Stab. And they're using Stab as their meta commentary on Scream. Verno's in the house. I'm so glad. So like, they're doing this, trying to do this meta thing, and they're not being as obnoxious as, say, Matrix Resurrections, where they're replaying the scene in the background while they're doing the scene. But they do a bit where they're showing the Stab recreation of this killer sneaking in on Randy, while in the same house, Randy's niece is laying there in the same situation. So it just gets a little bit too on the nose. None of the characters are fully developed for me. I don't give a shit about any of them. Not going to really spoil, Jelani, or answer your question about Dewey. I know you don't, but other people might. Like Brooks might really care.
I don't care.
Brooks, do you give a shit?
I haven't seen any of the Scream movies past the first one.
All right, Manny,
then never mind. Who cares?
Have you seen it, Manny?
I don't know what's going on in the Scream world.
They killed Dewey,
Fuck.
not even as an Act 2 end, because that's not the Act 2 end. Is the death of Dewey happens this way. He guns down one of the Ghostface killers in a hallway, and then he rushes the kids immediately after Ghostface lands into a trophy case. He runs the kids into an elevator. Doesn't like stop to make sure Ghostface is dead or even unmask him, right? And then
double tap.
And then he's in there and he goes, "You know what? I gotta go." And he walks out of the elevator to go and finish the job because he's like, they'll always come back. So he goes there and he hesitates on putting in the kill shot. Doesn't ever think of unmasking, and then Ghostface comes alive, stabs him, and it's one of the most brutal gut stabs ever. Here's the problem. Dewey is divorced from Gail,
of course.
A drunk. He's been asked to resign as sheriff. He's a broken man, and he's trying to somehow redeem himself. Never does. That arc doesn't happen, though. Right? That arc doesn't happen.
That's what happened to Randy.
He doesn't.
Randy got killed that way too.
His death means nothing.
Randy should be in all of these.
It literally had no significance or meaning. It was just useless, man.
Yeah, it wasn't even the end of Act fucking 2. The end of Act 2 was the death of some random fucking chick. Some, one of the dude's girlfriends or something.
They're not gonna kill Sydney. She's forever.
And then in the third act, Sydney and Gail all of a sudden know every goddamn thing about whatever Ghostface is going to do and are like supremely badass until they both get mortally wounded and have to step out just for a few moments till they come back to be badass again. This should have been Dewey's movie.
Yeah.
They should have been more like teased into.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You ain't gonna do that in 2021, in 2022 now. You're not gonna do that. No.
Yeah, I was so disappointed, man. That was a rough one.
It's over, man. It's anytime I see a remake now, I am very cautious to go see it anyway. Like I was gonna go pay and see Scream because I love Scream. I loved all the Screams, not 3. But it's just I paid to see them all.
Worse than 3.
I didn't.
At least 3's got Wes Craven in the movie, and at least it's got Jay and Silent Bob.
Really?
Yeah, this was worse than 3 by far.
And Parker Posey. Yeah, I think it's my least. Like, I don't want to buy this one when it comes out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like for me, it goes 1, 2, 4, 3, 5.
Wow.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's a shame. That's a damn shame. Because I was really excited. I was excited at first, and I was like, "No, you're gonna do.
I was
gonna
hyped,
weird crap."
but then when I watched the trailer, I kind of got a bad feeling because it looked more like a TV series, the way it was like acted and the people they had. And I was like, all right, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's my wife's favorite series. And then we were about like early into the movie. I looked over to her and I was like, this is going to be a train wreck. And it was.
So here's something we didn't tell you about. So the girl who gets attacked at the beginning of the film, who winds up living throughout the entire film.
She's the next Sidney Prescott.
No, she is sisters with this chick who gets, this whole thing is a plan to bring this chick back into the town. And she is Billy Loomis's illegitimate fucking daughter.
From a woman you never know about. You never know about her.
Of course.
Because she found out when she was 18 that her dad was actually a serial killer and not the dad she thought. Freaked out, left, apparently became addicted to drugs. There's this really melodramatic scene where she's telling her sister this, and I started laughing out loud. It's so fucking ridiculous. Like, how does anybody like that? It's so ridiculous how it's done. But she is so worried now that she's got serial killer blood that she, get this, she has visions of her father, and they brought in Skeet Ulrich.
Oh my God.
And they did really bad CG to de-age him, and he shows up in mirrors to be like, just kill them all. Just kill them all.
Stop. You're good. You're good.
I'm happy. I'm happy Skeet got a paycheck, but goddamn.
He ain't been in the movie since Scream.
They legit Force Awaken that shit. So she's Rey. Her dad is fucking Palpatine of the fucking Scream universe. Yeah. Oh my God.
I think I said this in the Dylan review. I think I said they somehow managed to make this the Force Awakens and the Rise of Skywalker of the Scream franchise.
Oh man, they would have done better if honestly they brought back, and it would have been a weird stretch, but it would have been better than this if they would have brought back Matthew Lillard and just said, hey, that TV falling on him didn't kill him. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, they would have done better with that, man.
I was prepared for that at least. Though it does, they do the thing where the last act happens in that same house.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But this movie is structurally the same movie, but a lot different.
Yeah.
Like they're like, instead of, and you listening to fucking interviews with these fuckers that made this movie pissed me off even more. Because they're like, oh, well, we couldn't kill the first girl because she was such a great actor, and we just couldn't allow that possibly to happen. And then there's this, here's the thing. This is the most inept fucking Ghostface duo out there. Most of the people they try to kill, they don't actually fucking kill, right? There's even a dude who you think gets got, and at the very end, he just lifts up his thumbs, and they were interviewed about it, and they're like, well, he's just such a great actor. We couldn't have him actually die. No,
you gotta kill him.
Scream movie. You killed them all.
You killed them.
We lost Randy in part 2. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You killed Randy. And Randy was the heart of the fucking Scream. Oh God, I hate it.
So his sister is in this movie. They had his
niece and nephew in it, yeah.
And it's the niece and nephew are part of the gang. But the problem is this. So they're all so self-aware about where they're at, like as soon as the killing starts or the attempted killing starts, they immediately all start accusing each other of being Ghostface. And every time they're together, we don't get to know them as friends. Every time we see them, we're like, it's like there's a luxury that we're supposed to know who they are and their friendships, and all they're doing is weird bits back and forth to each other about how they're the killer. Like the entire fucking movie. Yeah. There's no development. These characters, these new ones, you could give a shit about any of them.
The niece and the nephew were probably the best if you had to pick two, though. For the new characters. They were probably the best out of it if you had to pick two.
You gotta flesh out new characters. If you're gonna do this, you gotta make the new people.
They didn't take time with anyone.
That's the problem with these new remakes and reboots and all that crap. They want to make new. They want to push the old characters out and make way for the new characters that have no personality. That's why Star Wars didn't work. Matrix Resolutions didn't work. You know, or which one?
Resurrection. I bet the next one is Matrix Resolutions.
Yeah,
we're gonna tie it all together, y'all.
God, it's so bad now. It's like writers are just lazy and don't care anymore. It's like Hollywood will do anything. They're just like, we got this property now.
It's not the writers. It's not the writers. It's the corporate fucking structure of Hollywood. That's the theme of fucking Small Soldiers. David Cross is that dude trying to make a good Matrix movie.
Yep.
Trying to make a good Scream movie.
Learn? We can't learn. But this is, and it's
Fable says, so you can't lie, you're making me want to watch this movie for all the wrong reasons. Now, here's the thing. I encourage everybody to watch it, make your own mind up, because I'm astonished. Most people love it.
Most people have loved it.
It's free on YouTube.
I can't waste time.
Most people have loved it, and it's blown my mind.
Not Scream 5, Brooks.
Oh, Scream 5?
Yeah, we're talking about Scream.
Still talking about Small Soldiers.
But, like, I heard such good things about it from so many people and from critics I trust. And I went and watched it with Blake.
You watched Chris Stuntman, didn't you?
I watched it. Yeah, he liked it. But, like, it doesn't matter.
He liked Last Jedi, too.
He also liked The Void. He also liked The Void. Anyway.
Yeah. Chris Stuntman's trash. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so...
Sorry, I say a lot of trash.
I went and saw it with Blake and Jay Strick, and all three of us had the same fucking thoughts about it, man. So
there's so many people that like it, though. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. Like people were, Jacob, I think you saw this. Like people were saying, "Have we gotten the best horror film of 2022 already?"
They were hyping it up that big, yeah.
It's like Halloween Kills all of a sudden again. People are like, "This is the greatest Halloween film ever." I'm like, "Wow, bruh, it's better than 2018 for me, but
better than 2018, but nowhere near the best."
Yeah, just because it had the best score out of all of them.
It had the best kills too.
It had the best kills and it had the best score.
He was a brutal killer.
And I think it had the best Michael performance in the flashback sequence.
Yeah,
like
that was a young dude too. That was a real young guy.
Yeah, just give me that movie.
Yeah.
Just give me the movie that takes place after, like, be like Halloween 1 is the only one. There is no 2 but instead of setting it in 2018, set it in 1978.
Just keep rolling with that.
Keep rolling with it, man. Film it. Be vintage. Be period.
Yeah.
Like, that's period piece now, man. Like, do it. Yeah, do it.
That'd be big time too.
They messing that up. They messed that up too, though. Sorry. We're in that world now. They're just gonna fuck up films. That's all we got now. They get properties and they're like, oh, let's see how bad we can screw this up.
You guys see they're coming out with another Texas Chainsaw. I think it's like 2 weeks on Netflix.
And people are already fucking. They just dropped a new trailer and people are already like, oh, this movie is gonna be the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Crazy,
a 70-year-old fucking Leatherface.
Right. Exactly.
Being hunted down by a 65-year-old fucking chick. Like, bruh, and I'm not trying to be ageist or nothing, okay? I believe equal opportunity, as no matter what your age is, to be either a victim or a serial killer. I don't fucking know, right? It happens to anybody, right? But, like, if you want to do a direct sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, do a direct sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre set it in 1976.
They're not going to do that.
Like, just do it. Like, and...
At
least Rob. Here's the thing, though. I would almost say at least Rob Zombie's not doing it, but in fact, this is the remake he probably should have done.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, because it's in his wheelhouse.
Yep.
It's in his wheelhouse to do. Halloween was not in his wheelhouse to do.
No.
He's
The
not.
movie he obviously wanted to do the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
He just
The
did it
whole
his own
time.
way and named it something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's so much work, man. Now it's too much now. It is. I can't enjoy things I used to love. I gotta watch the old stuff I loved
See,
to
here's
like
something.
wipe out the memory
Here's
of what we have.
here's something I want to get into then real quick. When they do take a beloved property, franchise, IP that you adore, when they take one and they fuck it up, does it actually ruin your experience with the franchise? Manny, what do you think?
It doesn't ruin my previous experiences, but it chips away at my fucking hopefulness for the next thing. You know what I mean? Like it makes me more jaded. It takes away some of the magic and love of the cinema that I once had, and that's a fucked up feeling.
That's a really good way to put it, because I would like to easily say it doesn't change my love for what came before. Like with the recent Motu stuff, that I don't give a shit.
That
Like,
hurts my life.
Like it doesn't hurt my life because
it hurts me.
it's not the cartoon. I mean, it is the cartoon, but it was the toys. And every time I get a new piece, or when I go and look at my old pieces, my vintage collection, like, or the origin ones I have as stand-ins, like, it lifts my soul to see Snake Mountain right here, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's still that. But like Manny said, though, it does really strip away that innocent hopefulness that you have that they'll do it justice in your eyes, right? So I don't know. What do you think about that, Brooks? I want to know.
No, obviously, like, I don't think that if something new in a franchise sucks, that it ruins anything, really. Like, if something's bad's made in the franchise, I don't like it, I just don't think about it. You don't have to attach yourself to everything, in a franchise just because you love it, Just because I like Star Wars, I don't have to play every Star Wars video game or read every Star Wars book and, know all this lore and stuff,
Yes, you do. If you've never seen the Clone Wars, you're not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Well, the Clone Wars is good, though.
Mike.
Clone Wars is good. People should watch the Clone Wars.
So
I like Clone Wars too.
That art is terrible.
I like Clone Wars too, but I never went all the way through it, man. Like I said, I don't take Star Wars that seriously.
It's got its lulls in places, but overall, it's a good experience.
I've said it before. I'll say it again, Brooks. It's Star Wars. I don't take it seriously. It's not like it's Star Wars.
Yeah, like I try to. That's like there's no real franchise that I'm so into that that. I think that, if they fuck this up, it's just going to ruin it. Because, you can just ignore the parts you don't want to. Here's
something, for instance, like Star Trek. Like, I hear a lot. Star Trek's one of those fandoms that has really, like, split the divide. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you look at what's going on in American society in particular, and some European countries as well, but, like, this divide that's happening politically and ideologically between people, Star Trek has really done that, the fandom, for some fucking reason.
It's done it.
And here's the thing. I haven't watched all of Discovery. I have liked and enjoyed what I've seen.
2 episodes.
I watched Picard. I liked it. Weird fucking stretch of an ending to season 1.
Yeah.
Like, weird fucking stretch.
Yeah.
Like,
Spoilers?
really?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
no
dead.
offense. No offense, because I love him. I love him.
Dead.
Sir Patrick Stewart could drop at any moment.
He's dead.
And you're doing this weird bit where he's like a fucking robot.
He's a robot now.
Like,
he's dead. Picard is over. And the show is over, and they're going to do a season 2.
They're saying season 3. Patrick Stewart said recently, season 3 is going to be big game-changing things for the Star Trek franchise. How can you assume he isn't going to be out picking some apples, looking fucking adorable with a woven basket and drop dead? You know what I mean? You can't. How are you going to pin your hopes on that?
Yeah, like that whole bit was really fucking weird. I was on board that whole goddamn season. I like the new characters they were introducing. So I'm excited for 2. I'm excited for Q to come back, but like, what a weird fucking ending. Anyway,
I just can't wait for them to get to that 2024 from fucking DS9, that world that they visited. That
there you go.
That would be nice.
That's what they're
nice,
doing in Picard
but
2, season
I'm
2.
good.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, dude, I can't fucking wait.
I'm excited though, just in general,
It's
that
Alex
Star Trek is
Kurtzman, man.
still being made. They're still writing these books. They're still doing the comics. People are still into it. I'm a part of a Star Trek group on Facebook, and I'm like, y'all wow me the fuck out. Like, y'all wear me out, man. I'm just like,
because it's two different sides.
I'm so tired of that debate, and it's like it's either one or the other. And I'm like, you know what though? I can read a next gen novel in like 2 days and enjoy a good Star Trek story. I can put on any episode of TNG or TOS and enjoy it. I can put on some episodes of Voyager and enjoy it. I can put on, honestly, DS9 is better when you watch it all the way through.
You gotta watch DS9.
Yeah, to be honest, but
yeah.
in that first half, you can put on any episode, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Star Trek is designed that way. True. And that's something I really like about it, except for Enterprise. You can't watch any of it.
No, that's garbage. Enterprise is garbage.
We don't speak of Quantum Leap, Enterprise, Star Trek bullshit around here. What about you, Jay Willie? Does when they let you down with a new prop or a new take on an old property that you love, does it ruin your experience somehow?
No, because Halloween is my all-time favorite horror movie, the OG, 1978. That's my all-time favorite horror movie, and all the ones that have come after it, no matter how good or bad they are, I'll still always love and cherish that first one, and nothing's ever going to change that. And there's something I view it as like in the sense of like nothing's ever going to touch that first one. And yeah, they've fucked up with some of them along the way, of course. But I can take something that I like from each one of them, like maybe one or two things, but it's something. Yeah. But yeah, it's not going to ruin what I think of the first one at all. Nah.
Jay Willie, I'm going to put you on the spot. Top 5 favorite Halloween films. Go.
Okay, number 1 is first. Number 2, Age 20, because I love Josh Hartnett. Hartnett's so underrated, man, and he's such an underrated actor. Number 2 is Age 20. Yeah. Number 3 is Halloween 2.
Okay. I'm digging
it. Number 4 is Season of the Witch.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
And number 5, honestly, man, because I loved it so much in the theater, it was such a cool experience. I'm going to go Halloween Kills for number 5. I loved Halloween Kills.
Right. You lost me there. I was really hoping for Halloween 4. But
I'm like 4. Right. Yeah, 4 is better than 5 and 6. Yeah, of course. But
4's dope, man.
Kills, man. Yeah. There's something about it.
Okay. Halloween Kills has got the best soundtrack and the best kills. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You did well. Fable says, it doesn't ruin my love for the old stuff, but it still hurts because you'll probably never get the sequel you were dreaming of. Exactly. That's me. Exactly. And Bay's Transformers had to get over it. Yeah. Bro.
Well, most of these franchises will eventually come back to something good,
Do you think
I haven't seen the Michael Bay TMNT movies. I just kind of assume that they aren't great.
Bro, I'll tell you what, though. We will never get something that hits you like Transformers 86, the movie, did when you first watched it.
Sure.
You won't ever have that experience.
They don't make movies like that anymore, bro.
That's why I love watching movies like recently with my Kung Fu Journey. Same director, Hero, and most recently, House of Flying Daggers.
You've never seen House of Flying Daggers?
This freaking awesome, man.
That movie moved me. Like, and it, nothing that's there's no
These came out in the theater, man.
There's no new Star Wars or Star Trek or Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think there's a new one of those that's going to get me going again, like I did when I was a kid watching these movies, or as I did as a teenager. Or right after high school, when you're like, they're finally doing it. They're making an X-Men movie. They're making a Spider-Man movie. They're making a Hulk and Daredevil movie. And they weren't all great, but like we can almost take it for granted now how much genre fiction we get on screen, how much like superhero comic book movies we get on screen, right? We can nitpick them and all that shit, but like
this is what we wanted.
Yeah. But out of last year, the only new movie that hit me like that was The Green Knight, but that like that hit me with a deeper mythology. That hit me with something else. And so those are the movies that are going to, I think, make us feel that way again. I don't think any Transformers movie, any Turtles movie, any Star Trek or Star Wars movie that they will do in the future, any Ghostbusters movie, fucking what else there is, put it in there. There will not be a Jim and the Holograms movie that will make me feel the way that, first of all, the cartoon made me feel, but also that Kelly Thompson TV series. But they could do an animated series based on that Kelly Thompson comic book series, and it would be absolutely fantastic. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? Like, you're not going to recapture past glory. You're not going to do a new Back to the Future movie and then make it feel like it did when you first watched it. If you were there,
everything is good of its own merits, really.
And the same can be true with comic books, and it's a sad thing. But bruh, like, rare occurrences. Donny Cates is going to give us the best Venom story we ever got, but that never made me feel like I did when I was a kid reading fucking Maximum Carnage or Spider-Man 375 or fucking Lethal Protector. Even though the stories are weaker, the feeling is different. The
feeling when you get it.
Yeah. You're not going to replicate that, right? We can only try to seek that out. And exactly. So you got to seek out what that will do for you now. Right?
Yeah. And this is how I get it. And I love the franchises that I grew up with. Like, all my life, I've wanted to see certain things on screen and portrayed properly by people that also love it and want to put it out there. You're not getting that anymore. We're just not getting it. They're just like, we have this now. We're good with what we have. We want to go ahead and push it out as quickly as possible. We want to make you love it and give you our money just because the name is there. We got this name and we want to use it. But we know nothing about it. And you get your Dragon Ball Z's, you get oh God, and I know y'all are gonna hate me for this, but freaking Justice League. I'm sorry. No 4-hour black and white movie is gonna save what I will never get again. I will never see a Justice League movie how I felt. I'll never get the feeling of a Justice League movie like I got when I saw Avengers for the first time.
That's honestly one thing. That is one thing they could deliver in my lifetime that would work, is if they delivered a really good kind of Justice League movie.
You'll never see it.
They're not
going to make it. Hard to do.
5 years, they'll make another attempt.
You'll never
to reference Verno real quick, the problem is, Verno's right. They'll probably do that. They'll do a Scream that disregards, but they'll just call it Scream yet again.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that they keep doing that.
Just
calling a movie the exact same as another movie.
They even make fun of it in Scream 5, which is just called Scream. They make fun of it because Stab 8 is just called Stab.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's Stab 8. Don't call it just Stab. We know it's Stab 8. I don't know, whatever. Oh, by the way, we didn't tell you the worst thing about the killers. The worst thing about Scream 5 is the killers. You know what their motivation is?
Internet.
They are on the internet.
They are fans of the Stab franchise that are so tired of the new movies that don't honor what they feel is the legacy. So they are trying to recreate events so that they get the Stab movie they want, because they base the Stab movies, on real events. So they're going to do new Ghostface killings to create the story that they want to see. And literally at one point, the killer goes, "What's wrong with being a fan? How is being a fan toxic?" They brilliantly built this into the movie. If you don't like the movie, you're just someone who loves the original too much. You don't like it when they try to do something new. Literally, you are a toxic fan.
Yeah.
You are the killer. Bro, come on.
They try to shit on the people who don't like it.
sounds
how
really
meta. So meta. Super meta. You nailed this. You nailed this. And Wes Craven died for this. And you're,
no,
and then they put 4 West at the end, and I was just like,
God,
take that off.
I was like, no.
Wasted time.
That was rough.
By the way, PCP Horror Fest 2022 starts with a Scream franchise review, including the TV series on MTV and all 5 movies. So get ready, y'all. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it right.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to give it another fair shot. So
I haven't watched the show. Sorry.
All right.
The first season's good, but I haven't seen anything else. I haven't seen the other ones.
Yeah, I really want to get into it. All right, it's time for show and tell. And we're going to kick off show and tell tonight with my main man, Jelani. Good old job. Guess no, it's the man. Show us what you've got. Aside from that towel on your monitor back there.
Yeah, that's right. That towel's gonna stay. Got a nice little glass here. I'm drinking my wine out of. I got this black.
You're drinking your wine out of a Spidey pint glass?
Yes, sir.
Did you say wine? Is there ice in there?
Yeah, I'm a fancy bitch.
You icing your wine, bro? Nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like it cold, man. I like it cold. Okay, so we were talking about toys. So I've got a lot of them. So I'll start with I guess a robot / action figure / military thing. I'll go with my G.I. Joe bat that I got strangely yesterday. I found a lot of stuff yesterday, so this might be a little long, but I like the bat. It's pretty cool, but I really hate G.I. Joe right now because this is one of the things that I love that they're pretty much ruining by not putting it out, consistently. Very pissed off about that. He has interchangeable hands. I think that's awesome. Another franchise that I also love that they ruined. I'm gonna put this out here. I got me a Savage He-Man, and from that Masters of the Universe Revelations piece of crap. He's not the greatest character, but this is the great figure. I don't know. He's got a little spear. He's got his battle axe. He's got his sword.
So you hate the series, but you're gonna buy the figures?
No, I like these figures. I like the figures. I also got Man-at-Arms with him because I like that Man-at-Arms. He's classic Man-at-Arms. He's not the one that's in the show either. He's just classic Man-at-Arms. He looks pretty freaking awesome. Also, in that 2-pack with the Savage He-Man, I got the Orko.
Oh, nice.
And I like the Orko. I mean, I hate what they do to him in that first season, but they kind of sort of redeem him in the second. But he looks awesome. I like that they have this little stand that's attached to
the good kind of stand.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. And I feel sorry for that Orko. And then I got a lot more. My love for ninjas. So they were going on sale because they're about to go out of style. But these are the articulated icons ninjas from the Fwoosh. I absolutely adore them. I got one with the nunchucks. This is the Clan of the Midnight Whisper. They're the original traditional black ninjas. I like them a lot, and I think they're discontinuing this line soon. So I'm glad I got these before they went out. And then I got my Batman from the Three Jokers wave. This is by far my best McFarlane Batman. I think I really like this one a lot because we finally got a solid Batman and not that crappy Batman 1000 that he put out first. This is a really good Batman. And then I also got this awesome Stridor from the Master Universe Origins line. I put him atop Fisto. And I really like that.
Very cool.
He comes with different heads and pretty awesome. He comes with a piece to connect to the Gray Skull, and I finally get Gray Skull. And then finally, my best find, the find that changed my life. I didn't know this was going to happen to me, and it came to me at a Walmart randomly on 72. I got me a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Nice. That's the new one, right?
This is the new one that came out from Walmart. I am so in love.
Wow.
Dude, they got to do the Technodrome. They got to do the Technodrome.
They got to do it, and I'm totally going to do it. So it's going to drop all the crap out of it. But here we go. I opened it, and I got Metalhead in there.
Nice.
I got everybody in there, actually.
Did they redo Metalhead?
No, they haven't done redone.
That's a vintage one?
These are all vintage. These are all vintage turtles.
Nice.
These
are all my original turtles from when I was a children.
You still have all the belts?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have all the belts, but I lost all their weapons. I got April O'Neil. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I don't have an April, man.
I never had an April until I found her. I found her in Nashville on New Year's Day. I got her, our original Mikey.
Bro, all they got to do is redo those same molds over and over, and we'll keep buying them. I can't
got all the new ones in the boxes.
Y'all know Kevin Eastman is coming to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. We're gonna be there, y'all.
Oh yeah, he can sign all the new stuff. Man.
I cannot wait to just talk to him and be like, bruh.
That's so awesome.
You can just print money.
Literally.
Yeah. and we'd sign it. But yeah, I got all.
You know,
all
he
these
lost
originals.
$14 million on comic book publishing of indie titles when he did Tundra.
Why?
That guy's went from the highs to the lows, bro. That's why. Remember, they sold all their TMNT shit
that's right.
mostly.
Yeah.
Like Laird sold to Nickelodeon. He still has some rights. That's why he's able to do the IDW stuff. But yeah, man, it's going to be fascinating to meet Kevin Eastman. Anybody that has the possibility, this is the year you want to get to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo in April. Kevin Eastman, Jim Starlin. What's her name from Howard the Duck and Back to the Future is going to be there?
Leah Thompson?
Yeah, Leah Thompson's going to be there.
Cool.
Come on. And Felicia Rose from Sleepaway
It's Carolina
be
City. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah. Is that what you got, Jelani?
That's what I got.
Dude, that's a really great show and tell, bro.
That's awesome.
All right, next up, Manny, show us what you've got.
Yeah. So keeping with the action figure theme, I picked up these 3 books because now I have an excuse to try to find the figures. Some Power Lords.
Power Lords.
So that
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Dude,
those figures. What a stupid gimmick, but it worked for me.
Oh, dude, I'm excited to hunt them down. I see that they're fairly expensive, so it's going to be a long hunt. But at least I have the comics to put on the background of the shelf where they're sitting.
Just turn the figures around. It's a different figure.
It's
on
a
the
different
backside.
figure. Yeah. Power Lords.
I got Archer, Emissary of the Gorgonites.
Bro,
Nice.
you got some.
Yeah.
You stretching on some. You flexing with some loose,
Dude.
goddamn small soldiers, man.
$700 small soldiers.
Bruh.
Insaniac.
Insaniac.
He was my
yeah.
favorite Gorgonite.
That's Michael Sheen right there, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So those are, and I had some burger. They're in the box down here, and I couldn't find them before the show. But I do have some of the Burger King toys. The Archer with the arrow, but the arrow is gone. And
Michael McKean. I said Michael Sheen. Who's that?
He's the guy from the
Martin Sheen's-
Amazon show.
yeah,
Okay. Oh yeah.
Michael
yeah.
Sheen.
He plays in
Good
that.
Omens.
Yeah, Good Omens. I was gonna say the Angel Demon show or whatever. it
Yeah.
is.
He was also in Tron Legacy.
And because people were saying at the beginning of the stream, Robbie said people call this like the mature Toy Story. So here's an Emperor Zurg.
I have both of those.
Nice.
And a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
So
I still want a Woody and a Buzz Lightyear, like life size, solid Ultimate Editions. Those would be cool, man.
dude, Disney Store.
They used to sell them forever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Disney Store.
Yeah.
We don't have any though. Minnesota closed all their Disney stores.
Yeah,
don't
we
have
don't.
any.
We
had
haven't
a
had
Disney
one in
store.
years.
Yeah.
Oh. And then my Walmart turtle gets so.
You got that 2-pack.
Oh yeah.
Dude, those look good.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh dude, they're great, good articulation. I'm amazed at what they have in his hands. Each figure is articulated, so when you pose him with his nunchucks, he can really grip really well. They don't stand the grip. Like Bebop is always. I mean, he don't dance. He just pull up his pants to do the rock away. You know what I mean? He just leans back the whole time.
You got that lean back.
But
That
yeah,
lean.
you know,
Lean
but
with it, rock with it. Lean.
but you know, I mean,
They need to
he's-
come out with the
the
other
sculpt looks
sets.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now I just got to get the Rocksteady. I think it's Rocksteady Leo.
Rocksteady and Leo. Yeah.
Yep, and then boom. Yeah. So.
I'll
nice.
get anything
what I got.
Raphael. Anything Raphael.
Oh, hold on. And then lastly, I got these for the kids. I've been grabbing these the old Power Rangers gloves, the noise ones.
Dope.
So the Pink Ranger one's fucking expensive for my daughter, but she'll get it eventually. But I've been finding these on Whatnot. So if y'all ain't shopping on
been
Whatnot,
killing
for
that
those
Whatnot, man.
figures,
Yeah.
go right ahead, check it out, give me a follow, all that happy shit.
Hell yeah. Next up for show and tell, Jay Willie. First time show and tell. Show us what you've got.
I brought out a heavy hitter. I mean, figured it was perfect.
Oh,
The VHS.
Hell yeah, dude.
Clamshell,
The
man.
clamshell.
Clamshell got the
Oh.
hell yeah, man.
Jay, you were supposed to be here, dog. You were supposed to be here.
Oh,
I only
yeah.
got 2 clamshells. I got Free Willy and Rookie of the Year. I got to get
Nice.
more.
you're looking
And to
for
go with the
clam.
theme of the movie, got
Oh,
what was the Zeppelin song that was in the movie. I got the record.
Nice.
Communication
Nice.
breakdown. Got the
Well
record.
done.
Trying to keep it in the theme. And I don't have any small soldiers figures, but I do have a Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, nice.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate.
Yeah.
Where's his hat?
Oh, I don't have the hat. Fuck. And since he was referenced in the movie, figured I'd show this one off too. Trying to keep it in the theme.
Frankenstein.
Oh, that NECA.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, the straight up Bride of Frankenstein homages in here. They literally do the music. I forgot to mention that.
They do.
Yes, man.
They do Bride of Frankenstein.
I really want to grab that Raphael Frankenstein, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I got mine pre-ordered, man, when it comes in.
But yeah, try to keep it in the theme.
Dude, I forgot to mention that, but that's another thing Jerry Goldsmith does is he uses that Bride of Frankenstein music during the scene when they're bringing the dolls to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, I love that touch, man. I should start taking notes again. But then I was like, why am I taking so many notes about Fast and Furious Part 8?
Right.
My bad. Fate of the Furious. Sorry. Speaking of fate of the PCP Excitable crew, Brooks, show and tell. Show us what you got, my man. You thought I was going to forget about you.
Not this time, apparently. But this is my Lambo.
Nice. I like Lambos.
Yeah,
it's my favorite car.
Check it out. The door's open. I don't even have to I don't need crypto or NFTs. I've already got the Lambo.
Well done, sir.
I'll drive this motherfucker to the moon.
That's a really weird kind of bit that you're trying to make there, but I
agree with the bit.
You should have workshopped it a little bit. You know, you could have asked us about it. You know, we would have talked to you, worked it out, but
I think I'd work better.
He said, don't need no crypto or no NFT. I got the Lambo.
Well, that's the goal, man. Everybody got to get the Lambo.
That's right.
I'm already there.
J-Mo was after that J-Mo Lambo.
I'm super jelly.
It's a Countach too.
Yeah, the original. That's right.
I also found these guys. These are my famous covers.
Oh yeah. Is that the Mescos?
That's the famous cover.
No, these are famous.
Famous cover. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
I still got a Dr. Doom, man, still in package, man.
The Wolverine's claws on his hand are a little fucked up.
Did you got his mask?
No, I don't have his mask either. The Thor was yours, actually.
Yeah, I gave that up, man.
Yeah, that's I remember the first time I met you and I walked into your bedroom. I saw that because you had him in the black light was making his hair glow and shit.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want that.
Yeah, Rockin' Robbie was that dude that had the black lights. So come to my house, smoke weed, and look at my action figures.
Yep. Good times. There's
another random figure I found was my bush root.
Bruh. Oh my God. Some Darkwing Duck shit? Come on.
Nice. Oh, dude.
Y'all are breaking show and tell tonight.
And I found this figure too. Is the Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The sparky hair.
But this is how the Phoenix worked in the animated series. I am Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott!
Just had a weird stretch that I got that shit on card.
X-Men animated series Jean Grey kind of sucks.
It was right above me. This was our first Jean Grey figure from that line, and I still want a proper.
And the light still works too. Surprisingly,
it should still work. Yeah.
I got a loose one somewhere. I still want a proper Jean Grey X-Men animated gear. Right? They didn't do one until that Water Wars bullshit. Yeah. Orange and blue.
Mm-hmm.
War Eagle, baby.
That's right, War Eagle.
Scott. Jean.
Scott.
Scott. Genie.
Come on, guys.
I need you, Genie.
I want to run away to Alaska.
Talk about that goddamn Captive Hearts bullshit last night, man. God damn it, man. So
I remember not liking that episode much either.
I remember being like, Wolverine's kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
Super soap opera with Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean early on.
Jean. Scott. Genie.
Yeah, I watched this pretty recently. For some reason, I've been on this Akira kick lately.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know why.
Yeah, Brian told me it took him 2 hours to read every book. And he was like, how are you going to make it through? Because we're filming it on Friday, everybody, but we're going to release it later. Comics Revisited, Akira. And I was like, bro, it can't take that long. It's average 40 minutes per book for me. Like, I don't know what Brian's doing, man. He's paying. He's trying to figure out the screen tone game too much, man.
Yeah.
He wants to know the themes and the music.
There's a lot of themes about Akira, and they're all pretty fucking obvious, I think.
The music in that movie, though, is fucking...
I was talking about the book.
Okay. I was talking about the book, too. I like the book better than the movie. The movie's kind of...
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on Comics Revisited, everybody. Move on.
Dang.
But lastly, I picked this up pretty recently. It's another Junji Ito masterpiece.
Hey, that's the next Ito book I'm going to be talking about.
It's about a planet that eats other planets. It's kind of like Ego, but like much scarier. But the scary thing isn't the planet. The scary thing is us.
Dun dun dun.
And that's
nice. All right. Next up is me. Show us what you got.
Show us what you got.
So Insaniac, huh? Here's Insaniac right there.
Nice.
Only $300.
Lord. Nice.
$355 in package.
Next up,
the favorite Gorgonite.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
Little Kip.
Okay.
Kip kaboom.
Only $750.
Next up, electrocharged Chip Hazard.
That's when he dies.
These are on
stupid
card.
toy.
These are on card. We'll save him. How about Nick Nitro?
Nice.
He dies.
He's the guy that got put in the garbage.
Yeah, he's in the blender, yeah.
He's the brain of all the girls.
Hey, Jay Willie, this is for you. How about Brick Bazooka?
Oh, yeah. Station.
How much you pay for those? $859
awesome,
a piece?
Man, I love it.
Jeez.
All right. How about the man himself?
Yeah.
OG Chip Hazard right there. All right.
Does he punch his way out of the box?
Fletchu.
Ooh.
Wasn't really spotlighted in the movie.
No.
No.
There you go. Gorgonites. Right. Can't have the Gorgonites without having my main man right there.
Yeah.
Where'd you find these? Oh, yeah. You were gonna
So just to kind of
awesome.
look at that. Look at that.
Awesome,
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm not done. How about my main man? Slam Fist up there.
Wow.
Oh,
you're stretching weird, man.
Bro.
How you doing this, man?
This is a heavy show and tell, man.
How are you freaking flexing on us like that, man?
That's what I got for show and tell.
Hard flex.
By the way, these toys going to be available at the Deep Comics and Games. If you're interested, just let me know. And yeah, those aren't mine. It just so happened that somebody brought in a collection. And we're doing this movie review, and I was like, you know what? Before we put these motherfuckers priced and out, let me weird stretch with these on show and tell.
Yeah.
How cool is that to have on card? And y'all ain't lying. These things ain't cheap.
They ain't cheap,
man.
No.
They ain't cheap.
These ain't cheap.
They're nuts.
But if you're interested, they're going to be available. I ain't buying a single one of them. I thought about buying Chip and Archer, but I would want to open them, and that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's where I'm
not
at.
For the price though. Not the price of them. Son. No, son.
Yeah, if you're interested, get in touch with me. Email us at thedeepcomics@yahoo.com or just get in touch with me. Find out prices. That's a really nice collection. It's pretty rare. That stuff they didn't make a lot of them, and a lot of them got opened up and played with.
Yeah,
if they did get bought. So, yeah, those were all on card, y'all.
That's crazy.
How fucking crazy.
That's
when
nuts.
I saw when I was like, how much are we gonna have to pay for these? I was like,
yeah,
really?
That's nuts, man.
Anyway,
awesome.
TM just messaged me later on. I have to get a price from Mike. He's the one. Ask Mike. He'll let you know. He's open 24/7, not me. I'm about to close. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here for PCP Movie Night. Join us next week we're talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Blade Runner.
What version?
And this is what I'm going to say. I was about to address that. It's whatever version you prefer.
Ugh.
And one of the questions that night will be, which version do you prefer and why?
Okay.
I'm watching Final Cut. That's my preferred version. So next week, Blade Runner. Everybody here for PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time. But before that, on Saturday night at Dylan's Horror Show, join us for Blood Diner. I'm very excited for this one. A great film. It's going to be a good old time. Manny, thanks for being here. What's coming up? What you got?
Whiplash Wednesday. I'm kicking off Will You Be My Valentino month. Going to be spotlighting Guardians of the Galaxy 1 through 7. So tune in for that. And that's okay. It's only going to take 3 minutes out of your life. Check it out if you want. But more importantly, go check out my boys Steph and Brando over at the Comics Kings channel. Crisis on Infinite Rants. Awesome conversation. I am amazed at how much these guys know about comic books. Opinions aside, like just the fact that they know all of this knowledge, it's astounding to me. And it's just effortless. You could ask them anything in the chat and they've got a response. It's just so much fun, guys. Check out Crisis on Infinite Rants. You will not regret it. So
hell yeah. Jelani, thanks for being here, man. Final thoughts. What's going on?
Yeah. Are you scared? We're all scared. You have to be crazy not to be scared. That's my favorite line from that movie. It is freaking nuts. I was trying to lead with it earlier, but we had internet trouble. So I will end with it. And you guys were great. I'm not harsh on this movie. I liked it a lot. I just, I've seen better. So
you're a little harsh on the movie, bro. You were kind of trying to kill the mellow tonight.
Oh, listen, y'all. At least y'all didn't get me on that Super Mario Brothers. If y'all had me on the Super Mario Brothers,
I'll watch that at the drop of a hat. By the way,
y'all was
Brooks, bring me back my fucking Super Mario Brothers DVD, bro.
Y'all been crying. Y'all have been crying.
I know you're eager to jump back into it.
You know it. Jay Willie, thank you so much for being here, man. You did a great job. Final thoughts, my man.
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you guys. I mean, I've been watching you all since like Horror Fest 2020, and I've been along for the ride since then. It's just so fucking awesome to like just be here and doing a movie review with you guys. Like I'm stoked, and it was really cool, man. I appreciate it. I had a blast. Thank you, man.
Station, brother.
It's our pleasure, man. This was a treat, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming prepared and correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, holy cow, man. Impressive.
Yeah. Could have said about the music.
Could have said a little bit more about the music, but that's just how we go. What about you, Brooks? Final thoughts?
I'll be right here. That's from this movie, right?
Not really.
All right. Anyway, next week, Blade Runner. Don't forget it. We appreciate everything.